Shalom Israel, Grand Rising. Touching down with y'all today, sharing as I like to do with y'all, you know. Uh, just looking at some personal things going on in my life right now, you know. Felt a little overwhelmed for a minute, you know. Personal stuff, like I say. I'm not too attached to this world, but, you know, I look at things that family members share with me or witnessing the things they do and go through in this world. And I had to humble myself, you know, and just remember that I don't have the same walk they have. And that's key for understanding that I'm not going to have to deal with what they dealing with as far as what they denying and repeatedly, you know, accept. Lies, things that we witnessing and ignore because we're told in commandment not to do as or follow the heathen, but those ways of being compromised are the ways of the heathen which we've entertained and taken into our understanding and way to deal with this world, even though we're carrying a heavier load. And when I say we, I mean those of us that's refusing to wait, you know, whether those few get it at the end times and just in time, you know, but nevertheless, it's still our people that I'm witnessing this with. That was the current fires in California. An actual tornado came in and, you know, joined in on the destruction. And this is another level, you know, we got to deal with religion and politics that we've taken in amongst these heathens in their world and accepting their challenge as ours. And I'm reading some comments, you know, about they settled on the Brianna case as far as the police with a settlement, financial compensation, but those officers still haven't been arrested. And a black woman comes in on the comments and says, nevertheless, we need to unite, you know, tragic, but we all need to be accepting. You know, they make this plea as if we're the ones instigating or contributing to the division with some type of power. You know, we only have power when we resist and it's an uproar. Then everybody wants us to calm down, or our people to calm down that's still in this world dealing with this situation. You know, and I get irritated when I see black folks come in on those comments. And there was another one, a story of some black folks got together, I think it was in Georgia, and they bought 100 acres for a black refuge, for safe haven for black folks. And looking at the comments again, a black woman in there saying, isn't this some form of segregation? I think it shouldn't be, and we just all need to come together. Like, when do they think being at the back of the line means get further back in the line? You know, when you ain't making these statements to any of those in power of authority and addressing that to them, you know, evidently you know it's a dead horse you're beating with that complaint to them. But yet, as soon as we make some news of some kind of separation benefiting us, our people that's still in the world, you want to address it to get the, I don't know who you trying to get to applaud that. This is another situation. I actually got a friend that live here that I go to school with, went to school with in grammar and high school, and I posted this on my Facebook, and he came in real good friend of mine. I believe he's Cambodian and black, something like that. But anyway, he lives in this area and he's familiar with these cops.
Answering any of your questions. Give him your ticket. This officer is right here harassing my son. She already has his driver's license, registration, and car insurance in her hand. She's asking if he's on parole or probation, and he has to answer her. He said, no, he's not on parole or probation. I said, go give him the ticket, and she will not. She's just standing there. What are you waiting for, ma'am?
To shoot him?
For what? For a traffic violation? Okay, but you're making this dangerous. You're escalating it. Go give my son his ticket, and we will take care of this in court. You will not be the judge and executioner on this property right here. You will not. Go give my son his ticket. You have his ID. You can easily run his ID and see if he's on probation or parole. Not this child. Then go do your job. Why are you standing there? Why are you holding on to your gun?
This video is having problems uploading, so I'm gonna talk through it for a second. What the officer was doing with that American flag wrapped around her snout was waiting on backup, which there was no need for backup. She ran his license, saw that he didn't have any issues or warrants or anything, simply could have wrote his ticket. She wanted the confrontation to escalate to meaning for another cop to show up so she can act a damn fool with assistance. And like I say, this is for our people that's not understanding. You're not trying to be out of the way. The only way to be out of the way is to come back to the Most High, laws and commandments, and know who you are and who your God is. Or you're going to keep going through curses like this. So I'm sharing this to show anybody that might be, witnessing this and refusing to know who they are. This is what you're going to have to deal with. We don't have to deal with this. We out of the way. But yet we still affected by it because we see our people steady, begging, pleading, and dealing with this nonsense. And as I said, I made a video. I haven't uploaded it yet. And it was addressing white folks that come up against us and being woke. And for any of those that think that we're racist or anything like that, you're gonna find out that you were the cheerleader. That when the bus pulled off from the opposition field, you were left behind to deal with all they mess, because you were used. The elites are not looking to save you. You just inherently distributed their perpetual hatred. So here's an example of what you will have to deal with.
Consumer products sold under the Teflon brand are safe. DuPont did in fact ask EPA to make those statements, correct? That's correct.
When I was pregnant with Bucky, I worked for DuPont around Teflon. They tried to blame me. They said it was something that I did. The more they would tell me that, the more suspicious I got.
You did see there was a substantial risk to the women at the DuPont plant.
There was no potential risk to the women. There was a potential risk to the fetus.
It's used in consumer products, manufacturing products. The applications were endless. These Teflon and Scotchgard chemicals permeated the living world. Today, every baby is born with Teflon chemicals in their blood.
DuPont and another company called 3M had been studying this chemical dating back to the 1950s and 1960s.
Did you work with a lot of other people that have been sick or died early?
Carol Kaplan, Jim Broadwater, Joey Weaver, Steve Bailey, blown the car.
risk of the product?
Risk is relative.
If I go out here and sprinkle arsenic around, they'd arrest me for murder.
You've lied, and they're still lying.
Everybody in this area, in one way or another, is connected to DuPont. You go dealing with somebody's livelihood, you're going to have problems.
There was a discussion about, do we need to come up with something in our production that's not going to cause these problems? They conclude if we launch something new, it's going to cost us a lot of money. We have to stick to the devil we know.
If I go out here and sprinkle arsenic around, they'd arrest me for murder.
You've lied, and they're still lying.
Everybody in this area, in one way or another, is connected to DuPont. You go dealing with somebody's livelihood, you're going to have problems.
There was a discussion about, do we need to come up with something in our production that's not going to cause these problems? They conclude if we launch something new, it's going to cost us a lot of money. We have to stick to the devil we know.
Was I a guinea pig? What do you think?
And this is, like I say, just some things that's been on my mind, because even though I'm out of the way of this world, you know, I still got my emotions and my feelings. Like I say, I got a friend that just came out of prison, did 27 years, and he just got married, actually, and he don't know it, but I'm as soon as I get situated in this transfer, as soon as I can, I'm gonna try to take care of him. Not take care of him, but send him some money and let him know if he ever need anything, you know, if I'm able to do, I'm gonna assist him, because like I say, that brother sacrificed his life in that world. I know it could be punishment, you know, all praise to the Most High that, you know, he sent us through this walk. And I just want to let the brother know from me that he ain't forgotten, even though he out now, you know. But nevertheless, these things looking back, and as I said, I was feeling a little overwhelmed, because I'm knowing what I'm dealing with on my plate, which ain't nothing. I'm a worry word. I worry about the littlest things. And my cousin again reached out, inboxed me at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what she was doing up at that hour, with some Jesus junk. And I sent something to her. Well, I sent something to her, and I guess she didn't read it, because what she sent me wouldn't have made no sense for that. So, and I told her in a message before I sent her the next walnut blow to her head. Clearly you're not reading, and not reading for yourself, because you wouldn't even sent that to me. And the next one she do, you know, I was trying to take it easy on her, but evidently she must have been in her feelings. I hadn't said anything to her since we agreed to disagree. She came at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning with some of that. I said, man, I must have been on her mind. Well, and I told her, I said, the Most High must be trying to tell you something or warn you. And the next one I'm going to send to her, like I said, I'm not a preacher nor a teacher, but we all got enough sense to know right from wrong and lies and foolery when we see it. You know, I like to think we do. But the next thing I'm going to share with her is going to be a segment from Rap the News. You know, he can hurt somebody's feelings. So I'm going to send it to her uncut, because the way he talked to him, it's going to hit the bone real hard. So, speaking upon these lies and things we've been compromised to and just accept, those are attributes of the heathen, and we're commanded not to do as or follow them. So, watch this quick little.
Despite what you might be thinking, these two circles are not equal. I repeat, these two circles are not equal. One is in fact larger than the other. What I need you to do is determine which one that is. So, please raise your hand if you believe the blue circle is larger than the red. Alright. Please raise your hand if you believe the red circle is larger than the blue. All right, very good. Now, before I said anything about these two circles, what was your first instinct? Equal, right? Because they look equal. And the reason why they look equal is because, in fact, they are equal. These two circles are identical. Yet I got just about every one of you to raise your hand and say that they're not. So what do we learn? That you can be manipulated like that to believe in something that goes against your natural instincts. Just imagine at just imagine at just about every one of you to raise your hand and say that they're not. So what do we learn? That you can be manipulated like that. Just about every one of you to raise your hand and say that they're not. So what do we learn? That you can be manipulated like that to believe in something that goes against your natural instincts. Just imagine as a child you're taught that the blue circle is larger than the red. If you say it enough times, you convince yourself that's the truth. If you're told the lie enough times, it becomes part of your reality. And if enough people are taught that lie, that the blue circle is larger than the red, well, now it becomes part of the culture. And if that culture then passes that misinformation along to the next generation, well, now it becomes tradition. And what we have to remember is that just because we have a tradition doesn't mean it's morally acceptable. Tradition and morality are not always the same. I mean, can you think of any traditions that we once had in the United States of America that we no longer have? And today we think back and that was immoral. Slavery, right? Less than 200 years ago. And that was a tradition.
So this is proof that Esau, the heathen, and alike, and even our people.
So the traditions we have today doesn't necessarily mean they're morally acceptable. And as we evolve as a culture, so do our traditions. Now, the Matrix is a story. It's a story. When told enough times to enough people, it becomes part of that culture. It becomes the tradition. And this story is being told over and over every day. In fact, if you believe the image on the carton is where you're getting your milk from, you're deceived.
As I was saying, this is proof that people get it. They just refusing to get it. And the Most High ain't gonna use some cow on a milk carton to show you where you erred at, for those still cleaving to this world looking for excuses. You've had enough time and witnessed enough. But like I say, this ain't here to drill anybody, but just showing examples. We can't become, I'm not going to become overwhelmed again to the best of my ability, entertaining things of this world, even in my head, you know, and that's where it mainly has been, in my head, you know, witnessing things and study, questioning why, and even why many not getting it, you know. Only few gonna be chosen, and that's a day-to-day understanding we gotta take in. We gotta intake that understanding. But it's overwhelming, man. Just witnessing. You know, I had a talk with my dad while this is buffering. Might as well share some testimony. A couple of days ago. My dad is 67, 68, and my cousin from California, Boop, I know y'all heard me mention him. His dad, Uncle Joe, died the day before yesterday. He was 67. Ex-military Navy man. And my cousin had been calling me. I'm out here, out there in the Utahs and Idaho. I had poor phone reception, and he said he had called me and sent me a text message, but I ain't, you know, usually if I get a text message, it's not able to come through while my phone is not getting signal. It come through later, but it never came through, so I ended up calling him when I got to Vegas, and he told me that his dad had passed away. And man, it took me back, because I'm like, man, you know, Uncle Joe, this is a guy. When you hear somebody like this pass away, automatically you going through your mind, or your head, all the memories of things you've seen him with. He was so cool, tall dude, remind you of Frankie Beverly from Maze, you know, just real cool guy. And about an hour before that, my father had called me, and he said I had called him. He had didn't answer the call. Then he called me back, and he said, "Yeah, man, you know, you really been on my mind." Never heard my father say that, and he said, "Yeah, I was really just thinking about you and Aaliyah. That's my daughter." And I guess he was moved by the experience of the baby shower. And when I was leaving, my daughter's mother said, "Did you see your father before he left?" I said, "Yeah, he woke me up." And you know, I walked to his rental car, and she pointed to the refrigerator. She said, "Your dad left a note." And I looked at it. Now I know notes are personal, you know. And I looked at it, I read it, and I, you know, sarcastically said to my daughter's mother, "Yeah, frame that." You know, I told y'all I showed him the vision of Obadiah, and he wanted me to share that with him. So, in this conversation recently, when he just called me, he said, "Yeah, you've been on my mind. Hey, I'm about to really start doing some different things, man. I'm not gonna be here in Chicago for the winter, so I am looking to get me a place pretty soon." And I was telling him about Utah. He's like, "Yeah, I got a friend in Utah." He said, nevertheless, he looking to get him a condo somewhere and move around and get out of Illinois. And then my cousin called me, the one, the ex-cop. He said, "Yeah, your father was here over the weekend, man." And he said, "Dude, your father moves around. He don't never sit down nowhere. You know, even to be retired 3 times." He said, "Man, I looked up, I went downstairs, let my dogs out." My cousin got some badass Rottweilers. Bad. You know, these the kind of dogs, they're not pets. They're strictly for protection, and he don't let nobody interact with them, you know. Well obedient. So he goes, lets the dog out. He comes back upstairs. He said, "Man, I expected for your dad to be gone." And he said he was watching a football game. He said, "That's what gets your father to sit down. He was a football man." I started laughing. He's like, "Nah, man, cuz for real, your dad don't sit down." And these both are ex-police, you know. And he was like, "Man, something is really going on with your dad, humbling." I told him about, you know, him coming through and writing that note and leaving it at my daughter's house. So, a lot of things going on. Like I said, I pay attention to signs. Just riding out here in Phoenix in Utah, and just a little excited. We're a little excited watching other brother, Lil Morehead, you know. And I big up that brother's work, you know. And it's not to say that it's factual what he's bringing forth as far as the lands. This being, I shared with Slingshot on here on one of the comments. It was just something to entertain in my mind and out loud. That what are the possibilities? You know, the Most High, there's so many secrets he has, you know. So it's not to say anything that he brought forth on that is factual, and I'm not shooting him down. A lot of these cats, I notice, they get in their pride, even when you ask some questions. Like I said, I'm not shooting nobody down. I'm just addressing it. Hey, if it's a situation and it came about, that's what it is. And I made a statement to him, and he answered one question, but then when it was, to me, it took, okay, I had a question, he answered the way he wanted to, and then I said, okay, it was pertaining to Esau, and I said, what about Esau is the end of the world, for Jacob is the beginning, and it said 2 manner of people, 2 manners of nations of people, 2 different nations were born in the womb of Rebekah. How is this 2 Negroes? There's not 2 races of Negroes. And he gave no reply. That's prideful to me that you only answered to shut me up. When if you're making this a broad statement as a matter of fact, let's discuss it. We don't have to agree, but I'd just like to know how you're ignoring that. So that was prideful in a sense because no comment. no reply. But then the ones below mine, he wanted to reply to, and that's people that's cheerleading. That's prideful when you want to big up those that's stroking your back and patting you on the shoulder. We men here, man. There's like I said to him, believing who Esau is not going to be a determining factor on us getting into the kingdom. Nevertheless, regardless of what we believe, but I'm trying to figure out why is it that you don't see that, and not to be combative or prove something that you don't know, because the brother is wise. I'm not taking crap from him, but hey, that's a factor there. But nevertheless, looking at all the stuff that's personally going on in my life, and within the last span of a week, 4 days, and I'm in the process of just getting my orientation done for this other job, and about to turn this trucker in, tired of that crap, just a lot, and then my daughter's about to welcome in my grandchild, so I'm gonna have to assist her while she's not working, she got benefits and other resources, but I don't want my daughter to have to struggle. All praise to the Most High. This is the blessings that He allowing me to have and share and be a part of. So I guess this thing ain't gonna stop. I give credit to all these brothers' works out here, man. I address people like I want to be addressed and conduct myself as a man, no matter what the understanding is. This has nothing to do with religion. I'm not about to act like I'm holy and thou to watch my tongue and not swear. This is not a religion, man. I'm as real as gonna get as far as character. I've never changed in that aspect. I've been humbled to understanding who our God is and who we are as a people. But operating amongst other men out here, there will be no confusion of who I am as a man. And this brings me to a video that came across my timeline. And I titled it as I reposted it. I've been on my way out the way since the 90s. And this is some of the stuff that I grew up off of. If it ever gets started to play.
Formulating up plots to escape from Salem slot, cause it's scorching hot. Making it hard trying to figure who's out to trap me. But tacky, got all kinds of undercovers that's coming at me. Perhaps he won't be happy till they snatch me and place me where half a black space sitting in Kazaki, but never me. See, my destiny's to be forever free. In ecstasy on a hill that'll wait for me. So plush, just to visualize it like a coke rush. Vivid enough to make living this a must. Plus, Sugar Hill, baby. Sugar Hill, baby. I'm a for covered man. Our plans to discover other lands. Suburban places got me seeking for oasis. Fished out by the cases, ladies of all races with nine faces. Sex on the white sand beaches, the same time as no, this ain't promise. I'm as determined as the old timers. I want a villa in the Costa Rica so I can smoke my reefer and enjoy how life's supposed to treat you. Laid in the shades of the Everglades, finally forever paid. Winning the finest graphics Hellas ever made. Me and my team, Caribbean cuisines. I guess being down for so long, I'm on this throne to see my dreams. master, ain't much more life. I'm seeing after, but another chapter. A new way of life to adapt to, cause the streets are gassing. And have you caught up in the rapture, deja vu. I could vision my killer crew more hospitable. Consciously aware, plus political. As though they claim every man's created equal. What's his native people? Find it harder for nice to sleep through. But once established, we eating lovely, living lavish like the house of Versailles, Paris. I got a hat, it's so plush. Just to visualize is like a coke rush. Vivid enough to make living this a must. Plus, Sugar Hill, baby. Sugar Hill, baby.
I just want to throw that in there to let you know, you all see the state of mind I got far as how I'm out of the way. I feel like that, man. I'm not attached to this world, only when I go there with my mind. But since the 90s, man, I've been on this path, it seems like, to get out of the way. And that's the era of music. That's the music that I listened to in that era. I always had a mind of, it wasn't so much talking about material things, it's the state of mind. How to move through this maze of all the evil. And so that's why I shared that, not glorifying anything else. All praise to the Most High. And, those like me, it came from that walk and understand and get it now. And it's beautiful. The one thing I can say, I'm not getting tired. I don't understand how some people come to this truth, or maybe it's what they're under. Maybe under one of them schools or camps that they treat it as it's a religion and they walk away from it. And I mention that because I went with my daughter's mother to look at a rental space she got for her business while I was in Arizona. And it was a vegan fest. A bunch of vegan vendors out there. It's nighttime, lights glowing and everything. It was a real nice atmosphere. And I was walking around the tables, looking at different foods that they had. I ended up getting them cauliflower, deep fried cauliflower that tastes like chicken wings. And dude used some like Asian zing from Buffalo Wild Wings joint. Man, it was on hit. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. Y'all know I get off on the food. My daughter's mother was standing in front of this one stand with this lady, and she said something, and my daughter's mother looked at me. She said, "Oh yeah, those are fringes." And so I turned around and to see what they were talking about. They were talking about my shirt, but when I get to the table, she said, "Yeah, you Israelite." She said, "Yeah, I used to be one." And I said, "Used to be?" I said, "You still are. If your forefathers came off that slave shit." She said, "Yeah, you right. She said, "Nah, somebody I was dealing with, boyfriend-wise, got her into the truth, and then she walked away from it after splitting with him. So she took it in as a religion and walked away from it when she no longer had a relationship with that guy, from what I took from the conversation. And I told her, I said, "No, you're an Israelite by blood. I said, this ain't a religion." Then I just walked away, went and got me some deep fried cauliflower. Man, it was so good. But I be baffled at people that walk away from this understanding and this truth. You know, it's like, and to go back to this world. But the only thing I can see it is because they entertain the truth only as to take it in as a religion. You know, they want to support something black, and that was good. But why not the truth of the Most High and His power be something more attractive? And I mean, that's what's attractive to me about the Most High's creation and Him as a God and an understanding, man. Is that that's power. That's power, man. So witnessing that, and then knowing that people are gonna have to deal with their choices, you know. And I've like I said, I just lost an uncle, and I remember he was not in the mix, but I remember like 3 Christmases ago, I went to their house. They were doing a Christmas dinner. This is in Oakland. And I told my auntie, you know, I don't partake in any pork plates, you know, so she bought some, she bought me some turkey burgers, and we grilled them. And the thing was, it was like a 12-pack of turkey burgers, man. Put them on the grill. They came out so good, they didn't even touch the beef burgers. She was like, man, Keith, all the burgers that you requested are gone. Everybody was eating them. But we had a discussion, me and my auntie, about the Most High. And she is one of the ones that told me she's been reading the Bible since she was 19. I'm not gonna tell her anything that I've discovered online. And yeah, it was an uncomfortable thing, you know. And I didn't go over there. I was new in the truth maybe a year and a half. I didn't go over there trying to tell her or teach anybody nothing. I was telling her, because she was asking me why I don't eat pork no more. And I said, man, we ain't supposed to eat that stuff, da-da-da. And then she had mentioned that, well, out of the New Testament, we can, as long as you pray over it. And that's what I was like, that's not true, Auntie. And she got offended. But my uncle, like I said, I know she shared that with him. He didn't have nothing to say. He wasn't even around for that. And you know, he that's his queen. He gonna let her talk her talk, and that's their house. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know, when we all close our eyes, are certain things that we ignored of the power of the Most High gonna come into play for understanding and going before Him. Some scary stuff going on, man, and I don't want none of that on my plate. I got enough to deal with, man, you know, for all the things I've done in this world that I have to repent for. Just because I repent, in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, did he, just because I propositioned him with a you know, an apology for what I did, is he gonna forgive? You know, I did some things, man. I did some things to people that had it coming. They had it coming, but you know, I might have overkilled on it, but still, I got a request out there, man. He ain't gave me no sign like, okay, we cool. So you know what I'm saying? I got a lot on my plate, man. I ain't never, like I said, I ain't never stole no, you know, broke in and stole nobody TVs or snatched a purse or nothing, you know. But I've assaulted people that had it coming. But nevertheless, you know, hey, I ain't never take a life, but the application was there. So I looked at that in my uncle's past, like trying to figure, like, but it ain't my walk. I have no concern, but you know, we know very little about the Most High and his emotions. Yes, He says repent and everything, but you know, it could be other underlined areas that we didn't read the application or the clause. But I could never entertain going back to this world, man. I could never do it. For what? And seeing so many rewards and being woke, man, you gotta be on super dope. There's nothing to face this character right here. See, this would be a problem for me. Cause see, them 2 cops that just caught it in Compton, this would have been number 3. I'm just saying. See, that's stuff I gotta repent for. See what I'm talking about? I still got them spirits. This little heathen boy, she'd have caught it at Walmart parking lot. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, they in this world, man, this evil is not going anywhere. So why would you want to stay amongst that stew, that sewage? Just look at this heathen, man. Just look, like, she got the I'm an asshole cop attire on. The color lenses, her uniform don't even fit her right. Just look at this heathen, man. A dyke. You know, hands of a man. Oh my God, look at the hair. Look at the hairline, dude. Those are not humans. Humans' hair don't grow like that. Just flops over the head. Anyway, let me go. I cannot go back to this. This is madness. I'm out of the way, and it feels good. With that, I'm gonna say, look, Israel, I just want to share with y'all. I was in my, I ain't gonna say in my feelings or nothing, but just a lot of emotions going on personally. And I like to share with y'all because y'all family, you know. I have no problem letting people get to know me. You ain't gonna get no bank account numbers because I don't have nothing unless you're gonna put something in there. But I don't mind being personal with y'all, Israel. We family. All praise to the Most High. And even for you scoffers, welcome to the party, man, because you're gonna be up front when the smoke starts. All praise to the Most High. Shalom.